Hello and welcome to Newsline, live from the Newsfirst studios right here in downtown Colombo. And hello to Bandula Jayasekara, senior journalist, diplomat, and happy to be here, I hope.
Yes, for us, very much.
Thank you. Bandula, the Wasim Tajuddin murder case, or the Wasim Tajuddin death, doesn't seem to be laid to rest. I'm told that the CID are contemplating an application to exhume the body.
Yeah, for us, we are hearing so much about it, and I feel that, he cannot rest in peace. We really would not know what's happening in that, but I think the family is going through lots of agony because of this.
Indeed, it's like they are not being allowed to grieve.
That's true.
It's clearly because of some half-baked original investigation. If they'd done their job properly in the first place and made it all public or made it available to the different agencies, the family wouldn't need to go through this.
I think that's really what happens for us in most of these cases. The family, they suffer, that is why rule of law is important. Why should just ordinary people suffer because, due to anyone's fault? So, but then there's so much, publicity. Let it happen instead of just going on giving this publicity, which hurts.
Indeed, indeed. Another story that is being debated around the country is the issue to do with the security and the rights and privileges of the former president. Now the claim is being made that it's an unfair advantage because the other candidates running for to be a member of parliament don't have those privileges during this election process. What do you think?
But for us, like it or not, he is the former president. Others are not former presidents. Others are former ministers and MPs. So there is no basis in what they are saying. He's coming, he's right to come and contest, or they would have then stopped him there, but he's the former president.
Yes, but nevertheless highlights the fact that it's rather doubtful that when these laws were drafted, that it was ever envisaged that a former president, instead of retiring peacefully, would wish to remain in the hot seat of politics.
Yeah, that's true. I think nobody wanted, but I see here there's another issue here. See, it's all the securities provided for these politicians, and the masses are insecure. Even if you make a normal police complaint, it takes time. The police, they are tired. They are always protecting this, I would say, undesirables. Sorry to say this, but they are. What about the ordinary people? What about protection for them?
True. Let's introduce our guest today, Mr. Lasil de Silva, the Secretary to the Presidential Commission of Inquiry into Fraud, Corruption, Abuse of Power. Hello and welcome.
Hello.
We're happy to have you here.
It's a pleasure here too.
Mr. de Silva, your Presidential Commission of Inquiry, how's it going?
At the moment we are doing very good work. We started somewhere in March. At the moment we are progressed very well.
Right. And are you able to tell us a little bit about what you're doing?
Yeah.
Can you give us an example?
Initially the Gazette notification with regard to the appointment of the commission came on the 6th of March.
Right.
Now, after having established the commission, then there was a task of appointing the secretary. I was called in somewhere around in March, around 15th of March. Then from March 15th, we have been busy trying to get the office organized. And I would say the most important thing is to send an advertisement out calling for representations, and we published the notice in all 3 languages in most of the leading newspapers.
So when did you actually start work, operations?
After April, mid-April.
Mid-April?
Yes, after New Year.
And so it's April, May, June, July, we're nearly in August. How many people have you prosecuted so far?
Actually, we have received about 800 odd petitions up to now. We have not been able to prosecute because immediately after we received the petitions, then we had the responsibility to get the police personnel, because it is the police who does the investigations in our secretariat.
Right.
And I think it took somewhere, say, more than 2-3 months.
Right.
Unfortunately, it was such a long delay. The police officers were sent to us somewhere in the month of July, say, even
not even a month ago.
just about 1.5 months ago.
Okay. Mr. De Silva, can you give us an example of what it is that you're investigating? Don't mention names, of course. But
Actually, we are going into investigations in regard to serious crimes of fraud, corruption, and all that. And most of the complaints we have received runs into, losses of government money, where we can say there was corruption, and all those investigations at the moment are progressing, are in place.
I see. But we are concerned. Is it a question, do you think, that the Prime Minister has his own team of investigators called the FCID, and the President has you in the form of the Commission? Is that a case where the President has one, the Prime Minister has another?
No, the President has got the prerogative. This is by an act of Parliament, passed in 1948. Now, the President thought during the election campaign, since there had been various requests and information that there was corruption, and he had given an undertaking to the public that he will establish a commission. Immediately after the victory elections, he established the commission, and we are going ahead with it now.
So there's no competition?
There is no competition whatsoever.
Right. On that note, we'll be right back after having taken a break. Welcome back to Newsline with Bandula Jayasekara and Mr. Lasil De Silva. Bandula, what should we do next?
But I have a question before that. Now, I think yesterday or day before, you had a file. Today you have a file cover. What's inside this?
It's an envelope, actually.
Yeah.
This envelope has
it
arrived.
looked like an improvised file cover, but now I see it's
Yes,
an envelope.
it's an envelope. Yeah,
What's inside?
Goodies.
Yeah.
More details of all sorts of abuses. Right? These documents were sent to me by a member of the public. It says here, these documents are yet to be authenticated, but yet it says that this is to do with the highways. It says here that the government have entered into this contract on the Central Expressway without a plan for the funds. They haven't secured the funds yet. That's what this document's all about.
But only the name was changed. It was earlier the Northern, now it's Central
Yes, they've gone for rebranding. I hope they haven't paid too many millions to come up with another name. Advertising agencies make a lot of money on that, don't they? Still, the point here is that this project has been embarked upon without finalizing the funding, the finances. Because it says here that the government has got 365 calendar days from the date of signing this agreement. This contract shall automatically stand terminated, and the employer shall release the performance guarantee within 10 days of such termination, and the employer, meaning the government, meaning you, the people, shall pay any and all expenses arising from preliminary works and mobilization undertaken by the contractor. That is, if the government can't fund or get the loan in time. They've got 365 days. Now that indicates that this loan is not in place. That's pretty serious.
And then how can the ordinary people pay that? So this is what again putting pressure on the masses.
And more importantly, the previous government were accused of entering into contracts without a proper payment plan. loan or funding in place. One of the biggest examples of that was the Suryavava Cricket Stadium. We had the Sri Lanka Ports Authority putting money into it. We had Sri Lanka Cricket getting into debt to put it up. And we had the State Engineering Corporation doing the work. Now, the Sri Lanka Cricket Board have asked, at the time, asked the Treasury to give them some money to pay SEC. The SEC asked Sri Lanka Cricket, can we have payment? The Sri Lanka Ports Authority asks the Treasury, can we have some money to pay this? It went out in circles.
Okay, I mean, that was wrong, but why? I mean, this is supposed to be good governance. So
That's
you
right.
cannot repeat these mistakes.
You see, whoever sent me these documents is obviously a member of the public, but the conscience of this nation, of the people, has been raised because of the fact that this government came in on a bandwagon of good governance. They wanted to achieve change, and they promised good governance. And they said that one of the main things here was the corruption, claimed corruption on roads and so on. Now here we have this minority government who have entered into a contract.
And within a short period of time.
Within a short period of time. What is this? Is this some sort of... it's a joke, really, because I'm sure it obviously saddened the person who sent this to me, because, again, you see, the conscience of this nation was aroused, and that is what led to regime change. 7 or 8 months down the line, do we detect a return to the days of a lack of good governance?
I mean, the people cannot afford to have that anymore because we have suffered enough. There has to be good governance. The ordinary people, that's what they wanted. That's what they want, and that's what the common candidate, and then President Maithripala came to power. But the government, I know he's keeping in a way a low profile, but he has given all the powers to the parliament. So they should see to it.
Of course. I mean, they've been engulfed in a number of breakdowns of good governance. Need I say more?
Yeah, and I'm also, for us, with Lassilli, I'm also confused. You have a very high profile, FCID now. This is a presidential commission of inquiry. Why isn't there is still a lack of awareness? I mean, people should know about it.
Actually, we have given a lot of publicity through the newspapers, and I must gratefully remember Sirasa gave free publicity, and that advertisement they didn't charge. It was great publicity that we got through Sirasa. And again, at the moment, I believe 800 petitions within a period of over 5-6 months wouldn't have been there with us unless there was publicity, I suppose. But it is better if we can give a little more publicity, because still we get calls here and there to say whether we could send petitions with regard to various types of frauds that have taken place.
And how do the members of the public get in touch with you? Have you got a telephone number?
Yeah, they could get in touch with me if they want to. Our general number is 235-4418, 235-4418, and if necessary they can even get in touch with me on my direct line, that is 2669135. I'll be always available during office hours, and without any fear, I would say, we don't want to disclose their names. If they want to be confidential, if they like to send us a petition and to keep their name without disclosing, we will certainly ensure that all that is done to protect them.
So confidentiality will be maintained.
Yeah.
Thank you. We'll take a short break and come right back. Welcome back to Newsline. Bandula, these documents that were sent to me, do you want to know how much it was, the value of this contract?
Yes, I'm sure I want to know. I'm sure
the
viewers would want to know.
145,799,482 and a few cents. amazing amount of money, and they've entered into this contract without securing the funding in the first place.
I mean, this is the thing which happened during the weekend, right?
This is what happened over the weekend.
That's what I remember.
It's amazing.
But I mean, can't they, people? We should bring this up. I'm sure the media. We should bring this up and hold the people responsible. Because we have winds of change. This is the time.
Well, I mean, the fact that we are
Bringing
seated
this up,
here and talking about this and showing it is, of course, entirely possible because there is a new ambience of media freedom and freedom of speech. But that doesn't mean that we have to be partial and so on. So we are doing what we are.
I mean, wrong is wrong, but then it's important. Like you said, I hope this freedom continues. Always the new broom sweeps well,
Right.
And I hope it continues.
Yes. Is this some sort of thing that you can have a look at?
Unfortunately,
Can I complain about this?
yeah, actually, this doesn't fall within our purview because we have a strict system where we can investigate matters falling between the period 10th, say from January 2010 up to 2015. So
Right.
whatever irregularities, whatever frauds, whatever corruption
the
that
10th.
during that period, we can definitely entertain.
Right. Perhaps the President will have another commission of inquiry into this thing because it is obviously, it has aroused the conscience of the people. It's about the fourth time I'm saying that, but that's what's happened because the public they continue to be amazed at what's going on.
So you're saying, is this the big one after the bond issue?
It certainly is. It certainly is. The bond is still not sorted. Some form of change, some sort of start was made, but it was a start. It was like having a car with a blocked.
Yeah, but
petrol pump.
again, like you asked, Lasil, now who is going to monitor this? Whom are they responsible to? They have to be responsible to somebody. You can't say cabinet and I did this. They should answer some. They are answerable to the people, the masses, but then the masses have no voice. So what would the president do for this?
What can he do?
I
What do you think?
believe, the 19th Amendment
Yeah.
should definitely strengthen various commissions that are in place now. Because basically the bribery commission...
We are, I'm so sorry. To
Please.
thank you for being with us today, and thank you, Bantala. We've run out of time. But, in the words of the late President of India, APJ Abdul Kalam, excellence is a continuous process and not an accident. Thank you and have a good day. God bless.